they are presiding over the leakage of state finances through organized corruption right from the top, by the way. And then they turn around and tell us that there isn't enough money. They must take action to recover all the money that has been stolen by the Guptas and all the big businesses that have now been revealed through the Gupta leaks, by the way, to have been colluding with these people, including multinational companies based in Germany and based in the US. They must take steps to recover all that money. This government is in the habit, by the way, of taking immediate action when anybody falls into arrears with their bonds, with their rates, or fall into debt. And yet, we have a situation, if you take Longman as an example, who have become infamous as a result of the massacre of the workers that died for the demand for a decent wage. That company does not declare its profits in South Africa, by the way. They've set up their head office in Mauritius. So the country is being bled dry by big business, by the capitalist class, and the corrupt cronies that are dominating the ANC government at this particular point in time. They must find that money. It's our money. And they must use that money for constructive purposes, for the building of houses, for the building of schools, for the building of hospitals, and to provide a decent life and a job for all our people. We are also opposed to you see, what we are going to put an end to as the Gauteng Civic is the way in which local government, amongst other things, is managed. They're stripping government of the capacity to deliver services for the purposes of giving people the opportunity to become rich. So now you can't expect to get a plumber, for example, from the city council to come and fix a leaking tap or anything like that. We want all of those services that have been privatized to be returned back to the municipality, so that there can be jobs, so that there can be training for our youth who are lying idle, who are becoming vulnerable to crime, to drugs, to lolly houses here in Eldorado Park, amongst other things. And in all the other communities where similar social ills are afflicting working class communities. So what we are announcing here is not just a new round of unified protests. We are going to start taking steps to ensure that we exercise democratic oversight over the management, for example, of the housing waiting list, or over how policing takes place in the community. We want our community to begin, not to be spectators once they voted every 5 years to decide which bunch of crooks is going to oppress and exploit them. We will take advantage of this opportunity where we organize to educate and empower our own communities to begin to run our communities ourselves. And if it comes to the point where we want to remove these councillors, we will replace them with genuine community representatives, by the way. We will trigger by elections if necessary. And all those councillors that we will elect will be elected subject to the right of immediate recall and subject to the limitations of their income to the average income of a skilled worker. We don't want opportunists who think becoming a councillor is an opportunity to act as what they call a spear for other people to get contracts through them. It will act as a sifting mechanism to ensure that only the people who are prepared to serve the interests of working class communities will come forward and be elected as councillors in the future. These are the steps, as Farouk has pointed out, that will eventually place us in a position to make a decision about what's going to happen in 2019. Because even if the ANC falls short of a 50% majority, as seems increasingly likely, what we are going to have is a coalition of other parties. The ANC, the DA, regrettably the EFF, that is propping up a xenophobic mayor in Johannesburg, for example, that is evicting people out onto the streets. We will have to consider supporting the efforts that are coming from SAFTU and NUMSA to form a party of the working class in this country to take over the governance of this country. They are inviting us to throw them out. Well, we'll accept that invitation. That is how we see our struggle here.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks. Let me give you space to have your meeting. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for attending.
Thank you. You can put it down, put it down. No, just throw it down. Yeah, throw it down. Thank you.
All right, comrades, let's come to end. What's that tomorrow? What is our time? 22. Comrades, can we come back from the conference, from the press conference, to the meeting again? The time is 20 to 2, and we are done with the press conference. We need to talk about now the forward movement of managing the mobilization that we have been doing. Communities were mobilized and they were ready for the rally that was to be tomorrow. And well, in Freedom Park, for instance, we haven't yet